How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. And it seems a bit of news has come out just before the release of the actual Xbox showcase, which is happening tomorrow, so hopefully it's going to be a blast. Now, a little bit of news that I heard wasn't related to Sunset Overdrive, but it was kind of related to some of this, and now it's out in the public, so I'm just going to make a short video actually talking about it. But first, I want to cover this story here. This is directly a rumor, and this, potentially could stay a rumor. There are some things in here that are a little questionable, but not unbelievable. Sunset Overdrive Remastered is going to be shadow dropped at the showcase, this says. Reportedly, it's been in development at Blind Squirrel Games, the people that made Avowed, Warfare Mobile, with Insomniac overseeing the project. Now, Sony Interactive Entertainment apparently has licensed the IP to Xbox Game Studios. Now, that's actually incorrect because they haven't really licensed it. And as you can see here, Sony Interactive Entertainment owns the Sunset Overdrive IP, but Microsoft owns the publishing rights for the first game that was released and the next two sequels, meaning that Sony did not license out the IP to Microsoft, because they kind of have like a joint venture with this IP now. Insomniac is the original developers, but Microsoft kind of has the publishing rights to it. So it's a bit of a, it's a bit of a odd scenario. Now, due out on PlayStation 5, PC, Switch 2, and Xbox. Now, obviously, Sunset Overdrive was released back on the Xbox 360. Getting that to work now on the Switch 2 and anything else is a no-brainer. It's not going to be difficult, and based on the actual style of graphical output it actually had, it's not going to be difficult to up that resolution to 4K and get it running 4K 60 quite easily. In fact, you can, as they say here, 4K 120 FPS modes on the PS5 and Series X. That's just, in my mind, considering it was running at 1080p 60 FPS already on the 360, to get it to 4K 120 on the PS5 and the Series X, which are way more capable machines, way more powerful, and the optimization techniques today are just so much more superior, it's a no-brainer. This kind of tracks. Apparently the PS5 Pro supports up to 8K, whether that's going to be a thing or not is, debatable, but even then I can actually see it because of just how old this game actually is. Now, the Series S and the Switch will be 1440p and 60 FPS. Well, if the original 360 could do 1080p 60 FPS, or was it 720 60 FPS, the Series S and the Switch 2 should have no problem whatsoever. Now, the interesting part here is that apparently it includes new costumes from Spyro, Ratchet & Clank, and Resistance. Now, these are, that's a Microsoft, and these are obviously Sony and, Insomniac in particular. And obviously this is via 4chan, so do take it with a grain of salt. And, no one should be taking this at, gusto thing. Now, what I actually heard previously was that there was potentially going to be a Sony game at the Xbox showcase. Now, whether it's this one or something else, I don't know. It could be that what I heard was completely wrong, which is why I generally just didn't talk about it. I didn't really mention it. But now that this has come into the public eye, I wanted to at least make this video and talk about it and, just say, like, this is actually quite possible based on what I have heard. Now, like I said, some of the stuff here is a little kind of wish-wash in terms of, the whole licensing the IP and whatnot. But everything here is believable. This is a game that Sony wanted to revive previously. This is a game that they actually didn't revive because Microsoft wouldn't give them or cancel the contract agreement that they had with the two sequels. But this could actually be one of the first games that actually sees the jump from Sony officially over to Xbox. Now, I know people are going to say, well, this was originally an Xbox game. It doesn't really matter at this point because in terms of the IP, Insomniac Games kind of hold it. And obviously now that's become a SIE, IP. Whereas Microsoft has the publishing rights. They can't publish Sunset Overdrive without Microsoft. And this is actually one of those games that was actually really, really good back in the day. And I'm pretty sure it holds up well today. And so kind of reviving this and having sequels for this game come out, in years to come would actually be a good thing. But this would also mean that Sony would be releasing this game day and date on PlayStation and of course Xbox. Now, regardless of what the circumstances are or what the particulars are, is irrelevant if this is true. And this, of course, could open the doors to other games. Now, what I heard totally has nothing to do with Sunset Overdrive, but I saw this and I thought, you know what? I kind of need to talk about it. And if we do see something tomorrow, you know, at least I can say that my sources were correct. If we don't see anything tomorrow, then my sources were full of crap and I did a good job in not really talking about it at the time and actually just staying quiet. And which is what I've done. You know, I've told you guys I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to talk about what I've heard because I don't want to spoil anything for you. And so I'm continuing that here by not really saying in full what I've heard, but this kind of tracks with the things that I've heard. And so if it does happen, happy days. Sunset Overdrive being revived and brought back into the modern day is a fantastic thing because this game is awesome. It is really, really, really good, and I will be over the moon if this game actually comes back. Question is, if it does happen, will it be on Game Pass or will it go as a paid product? Will Sony try to stop it going into Game Pass, or will it go to Game Pass and PlayStation Plus instantaneously? Who knows? It's going to be interesting. But, you know, we're not that far away. It's this event is today, at least for me in the UK, tomorrow for you in the US, and, well, time will tell. But that's Sunset Overdrive, and if you haven't seen the game, you really should go check it out. Like I said, it's an old game that has had problems in the past kind of getting revived because of Sony's insistence that they, at the time when, you know, Microsoft's whole ploy was their games are theirs, Sony's are theirs. But I think since the, you know, that decision was made to put and reject Sunset Overdrive 2, because, you know, Insomniac did kind of pitch Sunset Overdrive 2 and Sony said no because Microsoft had the publishing rights and they would have to make the game for Xbox. But now, since Microsoft is putting their games on PlayStation, maybe things have changed. Maybe that mentality has changed. Maybe Hiroki Totoki has actually seen that this is just another additional revenue. It doesn't have to apply to all games, and this could actually work. Time will tell either way. You know, whatever is the outcome, this could all be fake. It is a rumor and it could all just go down the drain. But one thing is for sure, I find it highly interesting and I hope you do too. And I'll be seeing you tomorrow at the event. We'll be doing some giveaways as well, so hopefully you'll enjoy those too. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. Right, folks, that's it. That's the video. See you next time. If you've enjoyed the content, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell to stay up to date with all content I release, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out and remain legend.